Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcast of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Got your beer.
Keep following the leader.
Oh my God.
Follow the leader. 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 Okay, check it out. It's Santana again. Stepping out. One of them brand new big boy toys. I do big boy things. I make big boy noise. Cause I know what girls want. I know what they like. They wanna stay up and party all night. So bring a friend.
Let me talk to you, tell you how it is. I was thinking when I saw that body, gotta get shorty. Tell her what the young boy gon' do. Damn them chicks with you, gotta be your kin. They pretty thick with a kick that's sick, that need to be hit. So tell me what y'all gon' do. I got friends and you got friends. They hop out and you hop in.
Welcome in. Happy Monday. You know what it is? It is Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. And we are ready to get into some headlines, some trending topics, your entertainment news update. Happy birthday, Chris Brown. Boy, this May 5th is packed. CB's birthday. Jury selection begins in the Diddy trial. We got the Met Gala going on, the NBA playoffs. So you know, it's a new Monday, same mic and the headlines, always giving what they need to give. Now, listen, tonight, speaking of the Met Gala, we're going to get into why King James, though an honorary chair, is missing out on tonight's Met Gala. We'll tell you what's going on with that and some updates on what's happening at the Met Gala, who's showing out, who's a dud, all of the things, you know, because I keep you in the loop. That's what I do. We're also talking about Saturday Night Live. SNL, they might have taken one joke too far, according to the internets. I'm going to let you guys be the judge. It stems from, have you seen the conversation that is taking place on social media? I actually avoided it because it's ridiculous to me. But 100 men versus one gorilla, who would win? This has been a serious topic all up and down the timeline, on shows, just foolishness, right? However, the foolishness, as it often does, made its way to SNL with a tweak. So we're going to get into that. Oh, by the way, it involves Quinta Brunson. So, you know, spicy. And Sparks player Emma Cannon is done with your internet mix-up. So we're going to get into that. She plays for the Sparks and she happens to share a name with someone. So we'll get into the details of that. Plus, Issa Rae is getting real about friendship fatigue and, you know, maintaining friendships when you are busy, basically. So, and, you know, a couple other things I might dish up later if we have time. But before we get into all of that, I know the Turkey Leg Hut, that's what it was called. It was in Houston, was really popular for a time. I think it was part of the, you know, brunch DJ crowd thing, right? Everybody was talking about it, and some drama went down that played out on social media. Well, Turkey Leg Hut, the owner, is currently under some federal scrutiny. Some FBI testimony has come out accusing co-owner Lynn Price of ordering an arson of a competitor's restaurant in 2020. Not only that, according to Agent Deborah Klein, nearly 1,000 pounds of weed was trafficked, okay, let me slow down, from California, stored inside the restaurant, allegedly bagged up in the Turkey Leg Hut branded packaging and sold to customers. So, you know, we see this on TV all the time. Allegedly, this gentleman was living it and distributing it out of the Turkey Leg Hut. So, no official drug charges have been filed yet. The story's still developing, but look, these people are out in these streets doing some things. Gotta keep it cute. The social media floss has people out here taking federal chances. So, in addition to that, right, I wanted to share because we know that we love our 90s throwbacks. We love talking about those shows, referencing them, comparing and contrasting how they would be in this current time, all of the things. Well, Living Single fans, there is a new podcast that's dropping, first episode this Wednesday, and it is with Erica Alexander and Kim Coles, and it's called The Reliving Single, where they are rewatching episodes of the famed show, and they're giving behind-the-scenes stories, special guest interviews. I do believe Latifah will be popping up on there, and episodes breakdown. Now, we know the show originally ran from 1993 to 98 and helped pave the way for ensemble sitcoms like Girlfriends and Insecure. You know, this was our crew. So there's a lot of revelations that have come out during the filming of the podcast, and one of which the ladies shared when they were on Breakfast Club about how T.C. Carson, who was fired from the show for sticking up for some of the other cast members, a la Friends, trying to, negotiate more money for them, and he ended up being let go of the show, and they didn't discover that he had been fired until much, much later. And he always thought that none of the cast members had his back, but they talked about the things that they did do and where they could and couldn't push. They were very young at the time, 20s, so they didn't know the power that they had and how they could have activated together and tried to make a difference. You live, you learn, you grow. But these are the certain type of conversations and revelations that are coming out on this. So make sure you tap in, new episodes every Wednesday, and, lock it in. Andy?
I actually like their concept. Watching old videos and I'm sure commenting in between. It's kind of like if you were watching a documentary or whatnot, but I think watching the actual episode and them chiming in, maybe, at this part, we were improvising right here. I think that would be dope. Very interesting.
So they're doing, I think, Boy Meets World, and I think there's something for The Office. So there's a couple that are out there, but I like seeing it for our shows. I think that's important. And from what I understand, Family Matters, some of those cast members are going to be dropping one as well. So we'll see. When we come forward, we're going to get into these trending topics and headlines. You are locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
You're riding with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. If you missed our KBLA Talk 1580 Town Hall, the Altadena Eden Fire, 100 Days and Counting, you missed an evening of reverence, reflection, and reality.
You gotta live in the reality because this is it. Every day, you wake up, is this my life? Don't stay in denial because yes, it is. Don't stay in bargaining where you're praying for a miracle and if it wouldn't have happened, then this is what I would have done. It did.
Our panel participants kept it real. Really real.
I think, number one, it's amazing to me how we ignore systemic racism in our community, and as a people, we've apologized for so much, but when will we stop apologizing for what we have paid for? Because the truth of the matter is we paid for this.
You can always count on KBLA Talk 1580 to give it to you straight, no chaser. When you love folk, you tell them the truth. Seeking the truth, speaking the truth. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we don't black down.
The following is not a contest and is a paid advertisement by Family Vacation Getaways. Airfare not included. See FVGradio.com for complete details. If you want a 100% complimentary stay at a luxury resort in Cancun, airfare not included, then Family Vacation Getaways is your ticket to paradise. See website for complete details. We're giving away 5 days and 4 nights to the first 50 callers who can name an animal that lays eggs and is not a bird. An animal that lays eggs and is not a bird. Do you know it? Call now, 800-868-6431, 800-868-6431. You're also eligible for an exciting bonus vacation to Orlando, Florida for just $498. And don't worry about anything ruining your plans. We can extend your travel up to 18 months. Name an animal that lays eggs and is not a bird, and get your complimentary Cancun resort stay and an optional bonus vacation to Orlando for just $498. What are you waiting for? Call 800-868-6431, 800-868-6431, and give us your answer. Proceeding is not sponsored by this station or its affiliates.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Worried about eviction? You have rights, and Stay Housed LA can help. Stay Housed LA is a partnership between LA County, the City of Los Angeles, and local service providers. From Lancaster to Long Beach, we're here to help you with tenant education workshops, legal clinics, free legal services for eligible tenants, and online resources about tenant protection laws. Don't face eviction alone. Call our hotline at 1-888-694-0040. That's 1-888-694-0040. Or visit stayhousedla.org. Stay Housed LA, keeping Los Angeles residents in their homes. Stay Housed LA, your rights, your home, our community. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Now back to more entertainment news with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Welcome back in. You were locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. So remember, if at any point you want to get in on this conversation, 800-920-1580. Of course, hit us up on social media, KBLA 1580. I'm everywhere at Stiletto Jill. And we have an app. Download the app. Join us in the YouTube chat. All of the things. First up, shout out to Ray. Thank you for tapping in for me on Friday. I appreciate it. Hope you guys enjoyed that. So shout out to him. I listened to the show. It's a good conversation going. So appreciate that. Now, let's get into LeBron, right? So when it was first announced that LeBron was an honorary chair, the first NBA player to receive the title for the Met this year, my immediate question was, how, Sway? The NBA playoffs will be happening then, right? Well, LeBron answered how, because we know what happened. We don't really got to talk about that. We don't got to deal with that. However, now he's missing it anyway because of the knee injury that he suffered in the final game of the playoffs against the Timberwolves last week. So he posted on Instagram that this lingering knee injury, which now I'm curious about, like, I know they said it would, keep him out a couple weeks, but I mean, really? You can't go to the Met? Maybe you just don't want to fly. I don't know. But it's interesting to me. He's sending his wife, well, she was already attending anyway, but Savannah James will be there in his place. And so far, I am loving some of the looks that I'm seeing for the Met. So if you aren't aware, this year's theme is super fine, tailoring Black style, and it is emphasizing the impact that Black dandyism has had on fashion over the past 60, 70 years. So, of course, LeBron was an honorary chair, but there are several on the committee. LeBron was scheduled to wear custom Tom Brown, so that will be the designer that Savannah's rocking. And for the Met Gala, the way that you get your invites is designers buy tables, and then they extend invites to the celebrities that you see there, and they dress them for the occasion. So it would have been his Met Ball debut, actually. So I think LeBron would have showed out a bit. Let me tell you who did show out so far. Damson Idris. He came with an unveiling. He came with a motor suit on, helmet, and he had people snatch his top layer off to reveal the suit underneath. That was kind of fly. And your guy, Future Hendrix, he cut his locks. So are we in for a new era, Future? What does that mean? Because, when women cut their hair, it means that they're changed according to the oldies, what they used to say, that they're rejuvenated, that they're basically on something else. So what type of time is Future about to be on? Hopefully something musically, because I don't think he's dropped anything too entertaining as of late. It's been so far. Kim Kardashian, she had a look. It looks like it is either crocodile skin or reptile, probably faux, because we are in the era of PETA, but I don't know. Lizzo, she had a nice look. Zendaya always killed in a clean white suit. She looked amazing. Lala looked good too. So if you guys are online, check out any of the blogs. The pictures are floating around, and it looks like it's a good night. So shout out to LeBron for at least attempting to branch out. I can't wait to see what Savannah has on. Okay, so we have talked about. Wait, Andy, did you have something you wanted to add about? Okay, so we've talked about, right, how I don't believe that In Living Color could thrive in this era. I know we say it could. I don't really think so, right? And yet, as many have pointed out, SNL is still around, right? Almost 50, well, it is 50 years, I think, at this point. It's 50 years that it's been around. And there have definitely been some dud years. And currently, every once in a while for me, there might be something that is amusing. But for the most part, we're like, yeah. Well, Quinta Brunson, who we know everyone loves, she who is the creator of Abbott Elementary, she was recently on Saturday Night Live. I think it might have been the season-ending episode. I'm not certain about that. However, a skit she did with Ego Nwadim, I might be jacking up Ego's last name and I apologize, but it's causing a lot of viral commentary. It's causing people to question what is appropriate, especially if we are participants in such, right? So here's the deal. I mentioned the viral conversation, 100 men versus a gorilla, right? Well, in a sketch from the May 4th Saturday Night Live, Quinta and Ego were two women at the zoo, and so SNL posted the clip and titled it Two B Words versus a Gorilla. So people are mad. They're like, why are you playing? First of all, they're upset that Black women and gorilla are being utilized in the same conversation. These are two brown-skinned women, so they are also upset at the portrayal that was put forth of two brown-skinned women involving a gorilla. You know the optics, you know the complaints. You're not new to this. So we're going to listen to a smidgen of this skit. And, I want your thoughts. Do you think it's offensive? Are you offended? Is it just comedy? I'll tell you after we listen to it what I'm personally offended by with it, but we'll let you, with fresh ears, be the judge.
Gorilla, what, you can't speak? Right, like, good morning. Ding dong, Mr. Kong. Not even saying nothing, just rude. Why you sound like you got a problem? Can I have my face back? Right, all up in my grill and you ain't even got no ribs. You want to fight? You want to fight? Girl, you want to fight? Don't need no drama. It's my birthday weekend. Okay. So, no. We scared. Please. Oh. I wish a Rilla would put some paws on me. Yeah, the only Rilla we know is Glow. Yeah, Glow. Okay, you trying to get bucked, huh? You think this is the first time I fought a 400-pound? I used to work at Lane Bryant. Yeah, it's like that. How you eating all that celery and you still fat? Make that make sense. Right, celery ain't nothing but water and strings. Meanwhile, you up here on all fours looking like the LGBT and the Q. Sassy gorilla. You supposed to be all big and strong. Stand up. It's giving one of the girls. Look at you, Warvilla.
So, here's my beef with it. It wasn't funny. Like, here's the thing. You already know you're going out on a ledge, and if you're going to jump in the pool with that subject matter and you know it's tricky, be funny. People were offended that Ego said, "Give me back my face" to a gorilla. Andy, as soon as he heard that part of the clip, he knew. He was already like, oh, I see, right? And there was a couple other things because the sketch went on for about maybe 2, almost 3 minutes that people were pointing out. Listen, I'm not that sensitive. I think, comedy is meant to amuse. It's meant to provoke. It's meant to shock sometimes. It's meant to cause conversation. But the key thing in comedy is the funny. And that simply just wasn't funny to me. Like, it's just kind of like, what are we doing here? Why does two hood girls at the zoo, like, what's supposed to be, where's the joke? Even the banter was like, and, you can say, oh, well, SNL probably has mostly white writers and things of that nature, and they might. I'm not sure what the current writing staff has conducted, but I do know that with a lot of skits, especially when they involve people of color, the actor or actress, or actors, however you want to term it, pitch it. And that's how these things come about. And Quinta is a writer. I don't know how involved she was in the sketches that were presented to her, but they were aware. So if they had concerns, I'm assuming, right, that they are in a position, at least Quinta is, not to have to do it if they felt there was something offensive by it. But for me, I didn't like, it just wasn't funny. Andy?
Once again, we're a sensitive bunch. I don't even think you could, quote unquote, like make fun of yourself in these days. Quite frankly, I felt like if people were offended by that, you wouldn't have wanted to have seen the thread on the whole 100 men versus one gorilla. Because to me, what you saw online was worse. If they turn a lot of those posts into skits, come on now. We would have been talking about canceling Saturday Night Live. In my opinion, it's just selective outrage.
So do you think that people are being too sensitive? Do you think 100%. That it depends on the messenger?
I think folks are just being sensitive. When can you like, maybe, not that this was a critical moment within the culture, but when can you like crack jokes on yourselves? You know what I mean? Like every family cracks on each other, right?
Right.
So what's the difference?
I feel like the key thing is that it wasn't funny. And I think that, I think people would have been upset regardless. But if it was funny, at least you have something to stand on. Like, but it was funny. It was entertaining. And that was just dry to me. Some of the comments on X range from, why are women labeled as bees on network TV? We've been seeing that for years and years and years now. That shouldn't be a shock. There used to be a thing where you couldn't air, certain type of content, or 8 p.m. was the family hour on TV. You couldn't air what was considered, adult topics until after 10 p.m. That's gone. You definitely couldn't use any profanity on TV. I feel like on regular TV, even if it's later, we hear a lot of words that could not fly back in the day. Very few beeps, I feel, and the language is very colorful. I guess they had to compete with cable and eventually streaming, so there's that. But there was some defense of the sketch, saying that the outrage, much like Andy alluded to, is performative and missed the satirical point. I understand satire. I get it. But once again, it just wasn't funny to me. Like, I'm not, if you can, people say stuff all the time that probably is politically incorrect that I might laugh at, but it's delivery, or it's ironic. To me, this was just, okay.
It was a rushed skit, in my opinion, just considering, the hot topic. So, yeah, they probably didn't really take too much time into, better writing or whatnot. Once again, it's just a hot topic.
But here's the thing. They do this every week. Every week, you only have a week to prepare for the show, no matter what it is.
All skits don't hit, though.
True. That is true.
And that goes for any sketch comedy type show. In Living Color, not all the skits hit.
I agree with that. But I think sometimes, though, you have to consider, I don't know that I've seen a great deal of comedy with us in it on there that I found was funny either. And I understand sometimes there's a difference between, quote, white humor and black humor. I appreciate white humor. I laugh or whatever. But this stuff just is no humor, period, white or black, in my opinion.
I think you might have answered the question.
How?
With regards to the outrage. I think because Saturday Night Live is kind of considered, white humor or whatnot, having that type of skit on that platform it's like, oh, white folks, this is how you see us. Now, if that skit was on In Living Color or maybe even Mad TV was diverse like a mug.
Right.
Would it have been receptive? I don't know.
We keep having these type of conversations. I mean, again, I understand it because for some, we have let people play in our face for far too long with our imagery and the cultural appropriation and all the very real conversations and things that are connected to stuff like this. But I also feel like we've seen worse or heard worse, to your point, in some of our comedy stuff, in some of our shows, Andy.
Wildin' Out.
Man, I don't even watch that show, but I can imagine.
Come on. I implore y'all, watch Wildin' Out. Y'all over here tripping over this joke? Huh.
But I also think what the thing is that you have to think about who the audience is for Wildin' Out and where it airs, for example, right? Because that demo is younger, they obviously aren't going to be offended. And with the adults, the people that would, how would they cross paths with Wildin' Out's content?
Are you sure about that, Jill? I mean, considering where we're at right now, this new generation of folks, you know what I'm saying? They've been highly critical of our generation. Yeah. I don't know.
True.
I don't know. This youth is different.
They are different. Well, we're not going to criticize them. Shout out to the babies. They'll get their own set of rules. They'll understand soon enough, unfortunately. When we come forward, we're going to get into more trending topics and headlines. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Going down in Wheelie. I got friends and you got friends. They hop out and you hop in. I love fly and they jock in. The way you drop down makes me wild. I got friends and you got friends. They hop out and you hop in. I love fly and they jock in.
Are you ready for the hottest entertainment scoop in Los Angeles? She's bringing you exclusive interviews with today's biggest stars, behind-the-scenes Hollywood insights, and all the entertainment news you need to know. She's breaking down what's trending, what's ending, and what's just beginning in the world of entertainment. You're riding with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. Jury selection is underway in Sean Diddy Combs' federal sex trafficking case in Manhattan. Some New Yorkers say they'd struggle to be fair jurors.
Not really, because I'm pretty sure I'd be biased if it's involving women and trafficking, so I think I'd have a little bias there.
He's accused of racketeering, kidnapping, and coercing women for his sexual desires. Agents found drugs and baby oil at his homes. Diddy pleaded not guilty and rejected a plea deal. Prosecutors have wrapped closing arguments in the Tyree Nichols trial, where 3 former Memphis cops are charged in his 2023 death. They ended by asking, quote, "Are good people capable of doing bad things?" end quote. The defense is up next. And Black Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass says she'll take a pay cut and delay staff raises as the city faces a budget crisis. Her office will skip cost of living increases through next June. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Slow moving in Corona, 15 southbound Magnolia Avenue to Wyrick Road. Tough in Diamond Bar, 57 northbound leaving Diamond Bar Boulevard to the 60. Slowing in Norwalk, 605 northbound from the 105 all the way to Whittier Boulevard. And the drive on the 5 southbound in Los Feliz. Delays from Los Feliz Boulevard, you're on the brakes to the 110. Slowing in stretches out of East LA from Calzona all the way to Lakewood Boulevard. 110 northbound in South LA slows down at Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. Delays taking you ahead to the 5.
Are you sick of drying chlorinated water in your home? At LifeSource, they believe your health, your skin, and your hair deserve better. Enjoy delicious, clean water from every tap with a LifeSource water system. Call 1-800-WATER-99 or visit LifeSourceWater.com.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
I'm a bad man.
Like LeBron, Clippers guard James Harden is facing a June 29 deadline to accept a player option for next season. Harden, who turns 36 in August, is scheduled to make $36 million next season with the Clippers. If Harden declines his player option, he can become a free agent. It will be interesting to see what kind of market will be out there for Harden after his disappointing performance Saturday in Game 7 at Denver. 7 points on 2 for 8 shooting. Harden still had a decent season with 22.8 points per game and 8.7 assists, which ranked 5th in the NBA. Less than 2 weeks after the NFL draft, Travis Hunter, Cam Ward, and Shedeur Sanders ranked 1, 2, and 3 in jersey sales among NFL draft picks. Ward was the number 1 overall pick by the Tennessee Titans. Hunter was taken at number 2 by the Jacksonville Jaguars. Sanders was not selected until the 5th round by Cleveland. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Follow the leader. KBLA Talk 1580. Follow the leader.
If you're not following KBLA Talk 1580 on all of our socials, then you're missing out. Download our app and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcast of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Got your black.
Follow the leader.
Oh my God.
Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
During this time, it's important for everyone to know your rights. The 4th, 5th, and 6th Amendments in the U.S. Constitution protects every one of us, regardless of immigration status. The 4th Amendment requires a judicial warrant to search your home. The 5th protects your right to remain silent, and the 6th gives you the right to an attorney. Just remember,
No warrant, no key.
Privacy.
You don't have to speak. No lawyer inside.
Don't say a thing.
Yeah, we all got rights.
Hey, we all got rights.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you that we keep us safe. Every girl deserves a chance to shine. That's the belief behind Forgiving for Living, Inc. Since 1999, this organization has been empowering at-risk girls ages 13 to 18, helping them overcome behavioral and mental health challenges. Founder Wendy Gladney's personal journey inspired the mission to give girls hope and purpose through the power of forgiveness. Through their ambassador program, workshops, and annual conference, Forgiving for Living has touched over 3,000 young lives, providing mentoring, life skills, training, and tools for building self-esteem and confidence. You can make a difference. Visit forgivingforliving.org to donate, volunteer, become a mentor, or find help for a young girl in need. Forgiving for Living, Inc., building brighter futures for young girls. Visit forgivingforliving.org today. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
You're listening to Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
That my best friend, she a real bad got her own money. She don't need no on the dance floor. She had 2-3 drinks, now she twerking. She throw it out and come back in.
That's my best friend, she a real bad drive her own car. She don't need no lift in a strip club. No, my girl gon' tip. Now she twerking, she throw it out and come back in. Beep, beep. As got my bestie in a tessie, fresh blowout, skin on town, she ready.
Welcome back in. You were locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. Now listen, it was my birthday, but I got gifts for you guys, right? So, coming up this weekend, the Queens, they're performing in LA. I'm talking real queens. I'm talking legendary. I'm talking 4 legends, 1 stage, Sunday, May 11th, Mother's Day at the Kia Forum. Shaka Khan, Patti LaBelle, Gladys Knight, and Stephanie Mills. Did you hear that lineup? Do you know the type of energy that is going to be in the building? Well, you can find out for yourself because I got a pair of tickets. So if you want those tickets, give us a call here, 800-920-1580, and we're going to hook you up. Andy.
First person to call gets the tickets.
So hit that hotline, 800-920-1580, if you want to see Shaka Khan, Patti LaBelle, Gladys Knight, and Stephanie Mills. 1 night, 1 stage, 4 queens. So hit those lines up and good luck to you. Now, let's move on and keep on with these trending topics and headlines because, yeah, it's going down. So this one, I thought this was kind of funny. You know, it's nothing too deep, just a little bit of amusing. There's a Sparks player, right? Her name is Emma Cannon. And she jumped on Instagram over the weekend to let the internets know that she is not the same Emma Cannon of MGK. Now, if you aren't familiar with MGK, his former rap name is Machine Gun Kelly. No secret or mystery there why he goes by MGK now. And the real Emma Cannon, she is MGK's ex and the mother to his daughter, Cassie Colson Baker. She's been private for years, but they share the same name. And I guess people have been hitting her up on her social media, but the way she addressed it, girl, why are you playing with the people? I'm gonna let you just hear what she had to say.
I am not Machine Gun Kelly's baby mama. What? Please stop saying that. I have 3 kids, not 4. I just had a daughter. My name is Emma Cannon. Her name is Emma Cannon. We not the same. We not the same. That's not my baby daddy. I don't have a baby daddy. I's the pappy. Me.
So she said, I's the pappy. So Emma has been in the W since 2011. She plays for the Sparks. She has 7 points a game, 5.2 rebounds a game. You know, we are back in WNBA season right now. So are y'all tapping in? Are y'all checking out the Sparks? Are we good, Andy?
Yeah, because ain't nobody talking about watching Angel Reese or anything like that. I ain't heard from Angel Reese since the end of the season last season.
Well, Angel Reese was outside. She was enjoying her first official off season as a pro. She was popping out a little bit. So we're gonna see if she's back in the gym. Flage was at the on the Met Gala carpet. So I guess she has 1 more year in school before we'll get to see her in the W. You know, about to see what it do this summer, what it's looking like.
I will say that I think this upcoming season will actually be great, just considering you have Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, their sophomore season. You got Paige coming in or whatnot. So, you know, once Juju can get healthy, I don't know if she's going to stay at SC for
I mean, well, they
year.
have to.
She has to?
Right. So this was her sophomore year. So next year, right, she comes back, she plays, and then boom, right into the W. Because you got to be, I think, 3 years of college or 21. Maybe you're 22.
Even with the whole NIL, isn't she like in an NIL situation?
She is, but that has nothing to do. Like your NIL stuff can go with you, but it has nothing to do with the WNBA. Still has their age range and things set up for when you can enter into their league. So, you know, we got to see what's going on with that. All right. I thought this was interesting because friendship is something we always talk about, right? And, you know, I think that people find it hard at times to give successful people grace. I think that it is easy to look at someone that you feel has it all and not feel as though they have any real problems. You know that things are going on, but we tend to think that money and success are the answers to everything, that people don't need, downtime or whatever. And I think as you advance in life and career, we all know like the transition from with some of your friends, the friends that have families and, started going through all of that. There was a separation with the friends that were still in the streets because different type of responsibilities. Then you turn that over to later in life, and there are people that are empty nesters right alongside some friends who have toddlers or grade school age kids, because that's just how these times are. You swing. And so friendship, though important, community is so important, sometimes can easily be the thing that slips and takes a back seat. And oftentimes we aren't as understanding with our friends when they're trying to manage and balance life as we can be. So Issa Rae really recently opened up about struggling to maintain friendships amid her grind. Oh, by the way, shout out to Issa Rae. She's opening up a pizza joint. It's called Doughboys Pizza. It's going to be downtown with the same group that is responsible for Somerville and why did I just blank on the coffee? Hilltop, the coffee thing, and Lost downtown LA. So she is continuing to expand not only her real estate empire, but her outside source of business, retail eateries and such. So big ups to that. But like I said, she talked about how she's been unintentionally distant and she wants to be more intentional with her circle. She talks about how she is a great friend when she is there and present, but she may not always be the connected friend. So let's hear a little bit about what she had to say.
I am not a check-in every day type of person. I'm a very much... When I'm here, it's all about you, but I don't check in as often as I should with friends. And I've been told that in the past and I've adjusted, but you just have to tell me, but it's not a natural instinct. And so with this, I understand like Eva being like, this is kind of a high maintenance friendship in a way where I'm not going to be the same type of giving friend that you are to me, but I will show up in the ways that I can. If you need me, I will always be there. And so that would make me consider like, oh, am I a bad friend because I think about you, but I might not text you to be like, hey, I just want to make sure you're okay. But you should know that I would hope you would call me if you weren't okay and know that I would show up for you and be there for you. I'm not considerate.
Yeah.
I'm not a considerate friend in the way that I would like to be.
That's a pronouncement there.
It's true. And it's like one of my biggest flaws because I'm just so work focused that I'm not like, I'll think about you, but not tell you that I'm thinking about you.
Right. And that's fair.
But that's also part of friendship, right? Because,
So I want to know, do you guys give grace to your friends in moments like that, especially your friends that are go-getters, or do you take it personally? Because I think that while that is true, at some point, right, what is your responsibility in the friendship? Now, I get the not checking in every day thing because I'm definitely, we don't have to do that. We are not at that point in life where I even have something to say necessarily every day. But I do think that if you are the one that constantly has to initiate, the weight of that at times can feel tricky because you don't want to feel like, one, well, if I didn't reach out, would you have, wanted to engage with me? Or is this just you happen to be there? Those type of things. And also you don't want to intrude or insert yourself in your friends if they really are that busy, to be continuing to be the one like, hey, what you doing? Or hey, how you been? So it's complicated.
I also think you have to know who your friends are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have to know that this person isn't really the type of person to initiate. That doesn't mean that they are probably not thinking about you or don't care. I swear, like you post a status update or something, I'm pretty sure they're gonna like it. They might not check in with you, but I think it's important to know that. I think we emphasize too much on like who we are and how, you know, we react or respond to certain things, that we expect that of others. You got to have grace and just understand that not everybody is like you.
I agree with that. But what happens when the shifts happen? Because sometimes as you dive more into, you know, Issa mentioned work and career challenges, those subtle things, sometimes it ekes out. And at what point do you maybe, as the outside friend, cheering your friend on, you know, kind of determine, are we going in separate directions? Do we still fit? I mean, I'm not saying you necessarily have to make a big ordeal out of it, or you may just be understanding, but I think that those sometimes are fair questions, because at a certain point, though, we all recognize you do make time for what's important to you.
That's real. That's real.
You know,
in my case, I let it be. You know what I mean? If you're a friend till this day. You know what I mean? And even if we haven't hung or spoke out in 10, 15 years, if I run into you, hey, what's going on? You good? You know what I'm saying? You still a homie. We might not kick it every day, but, you know.
But that's an associate. That's not necessarily a friend.
I mean, if you want to be technical with it.
But I think people, you know, go really, especially now, are making the distinction between a friend and an associate. People think that the word friend denotes something. It is meaningful. It is a stamp, a cosign, if you will.
I think for me, I've known where my friendship lies with folks, and although I might call you a friend, I know deep down
difference,
technically that you're
just
an associate.
Like, we
but,
cool.
Well, you know, you still a homie. If I'm describing you in front of other friends, oh, my homie, this, that, and the third, but I know this person is just an associate. So
right. So do we have a winner? When we come forward, we're going to get into more trending topics and headlines. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
You're riding with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Nearly 7 million Americans aged 65 and older are living with Alzheimer's disease, also known as AD, a type of dementia that affects memory, thinking, and behavior, making everyday tasks challenging. But did you know that Black adults aged 65 and older are twice as likely as white adults to develop AD? There are things you can do to help reduce your risk for developing AD. Managing conditions like diabetes and high blood pressure is crucial. Staying physically active, maintaining social connections, eating a healthy diet, and keeping your mind engaged with activities like reading or puzzles can all contribute to brain health. It's also important to recognize some common signs and symptoms of early AD, such as forgetfulness that causes problems with everyday life, asking the same question a few times in a row, and difficulty concentrating on basic tasks. If you see these signs in yourself or a loved one, don't wait. Early diagnosis and intervention are key to managing AD effectively. To learn more about AD and a potential treatment option, visit treatalzearly.com. That's treatalzearly.com. This message is brought to you by AZI.
During this time, it's important for everyone to know your rights. The 4th, 5th, and 6th Amendments in the U.S. Constitution protects every one of us, regardless of immigration status. The 4th Amendment requires a judicial warrant to search your home. The 5th protects your right to remain silent. And the 6th gives you the right to an attorney. Just remember,
No warrant, no key. My privacy. You don't have to speak. No lawyer inside.
Don't say a thing.
Yeah, we all got rights.
Hey, we all got rights.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Autopsy Initiative provides a second autopsy free of charge for victims' families who have lost their loved ones due to a police-related death. The services offered through the initiative include the completion of a second autopsy, disclosure of preliminary findings, and a final autopsy report. A police-related death is when an individual is harmed by police officers using deadly force, which results in an individual's death. Police-related death includes in-custody deaths, including those that arise during contact with law enforcement officers during arrest, pursuit,
booking, transport, or incarceration. The Autopsy Initiative has a team of board-certified pathologists on call. An autopsy request may be completed by anyone with a close relationship with the victim, which may include the victim's spouse, partner, relative, close friend, or lawyer. To request a free second autopsy for a victim of police violence, please visit knowyourrightscamp.com. That's knowyourrightscamp.com. Then click on Autopsy, then click on Request. At KBLA, we believe in justice for victims of police violence. We say their names, and we don't black down. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You're listening to Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Welcome back in. You are locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. So since it is Met Gala Monday and the photos are still circulating, I saw this little quote because, A$AP Rocky is getting ready to drop a film with Denzel Washington. Jeffrey Wright is in it, a couple others. It's directed and written by Spike Lee. I think it's coming to Apple TV. I have to double check that. But anyway, we're going to be hearing a lot more from A$AP. And he recently revealed that he is a fan of wearing his wifey, baby mama, Rihanna's clothes. He said that he doesn't let gender norms stop him from wearing whatever it is that he may want to wear. So he was talking with Vogue, getting ready for the Met Gala. I'm sure he'll be on the carpet tonight. I haven't come across his or their photos as of yet, but we're going to see what they look like. And he explained how whatever he wants to wear, he's going to wear it, no matter if it's women's clothing, if it's men's clothing. And he was open about dabbling in Rihanna's closet on occasion. He said, and I quote, "Man, pardon my language, I do what the F I want. But in all fairness, I want to represent and be a catalyst for daring men. I don't know who drew the line between femininity or just being feminine and masculinity. I don't know who drew that line, but I don't see any barriers for me. It's not fair that my girl could just go in my closet and just take anything from it and wear it. That should go both ways. She is pieces she doesn't know that I actually stole. You get what I'm saying? Sometimes you can see her on an interview and see a paparazzi photo and like, wait, there goes my Miu Miu jacket. What the hell?" So he said that he's been doing that since 2021 and that these are all things that were meant to be emasculating and meant to look feminine, but it all started off with African men wearing them. So that's his positioning. And once again, the Met's theme is Black dandyism. So it's really unfortunate that Andre Leon Talley, he used to be one of the editors at Vogue, is no longer here because he would have really shone on this particular event, red carpet, especially for everything that he represented at Vogue. But what are your thoughts? Would you, I could see things like a sweatshirt, a t-shirt, maybe, a jacket. Some things are kind of unisex, but I don't know. I think I am not progressive enough to be confident with a man, like if he wanted to wear my skirt or my dress. I don't think that is something
Very brave of you, Joe.
What, to say that?
Yeah.
That I would be comfortable, like...
Nah, just, you're not progressive enough.
Yeah, I'm not progressive enough in that manner. I'm not saying that you should not wear what you want to wear. There are some men who say, a woman with her cleavage out, a woman with a skirt too short, you can't come with me to that. So I don't necessarily, like I said, you wear what you want. If that's how you want to get down, that's how you get down. I'm not shading you for it, but there are other things that I probably wouldn't be comfortable walking down the street with my dude wearing either. But that's just what it is. Like, everything isn't a fit for everybody. And I think that if we took more of the approach of it's not for me, but it is okay if that is what you like, you enjoy it. There's okayness in that. But yeah, I don't want to do that, especially because I'm short, so we don't need to share clothes. Maybe a sweatshirt, like, because I like oversized stuff.
What about a kilt?
I mean, are you Scottish? Like, what's the deal? I get it. Fashion is taking risks, and sometimes you step out in things. I am just saying that for me, I don't know. I don't think I'm that progressive. And again, it's not that I'm opposed to people wearing it and it being fashionable and the looks. I just don't know if I would feel comfortable with that. That's all. So I'm allowed a personal choice, right? And I'm not mad at any, and I'm not judging them. It's just, like I said, there are some things that some guys could do that I could, that are considered maybe normal or masculine that also would kind of, for me, be like, I'm going to go with no. So, there we are. Shout out to all of the black dandies. Would you wear a skirt, Andy?
Really?
I'm just asking.
Hell no.
You asked me, so I'm asking you. Would you hop out in it? No, not for fashion. Would you wear nail polish?
No.
No.
I had before when I was a kid, but being a goofball. But no.
You were in an emo phase?
No, I was being a Laker groupie.
Okay.
And I saw, it was when the Lakers were winning championships, and I saw the homegirl with her purple and gold nails, and I was like, yo, that's dope.
I'm gonna hop on that.
And she was like, you want to paint your nails? And I was like, you know what? Do it. I ain't tripping.
And what was the response? Did you how long did it last? For a day?
Just a couple of days, you know what I'm saying? Of course I got clowned, but like I said, I was being a groupie at that time, so that was it.
So, last thing on ASAP, right? And I forgot to mention that ASAP is also a co-chair of this Met Gala. Rihanna's pregnant with baby number 3. Hey! Shout out to them. So, yeah, be on the lookout for that. We kind of suspected that, but yeah, go billionaire, go. Do your thing. Listen, thanks for tapping in with me, and make sure that you are back here tomorrow, 6 to 7 p.m. for all your trending topics, all your headlines, your front row seat to the culture. Stay tuned for, The Voice. Zoe Williams, he's up next.
Let me tell you what I wanna do. I wanna love you, wanna hug you, wanna squeeze you too. And let me take you in my arms, let me fill you with my charm, chaka. Cause you know that I'm the one to keep you warm, chaka. I make it more than just a physical dream. I wanna rock you, chaka, baby, cause you make me wanna scream. Let me rock it, rock it.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. Black New York City Mayor Eric Adams is launching a program to help 100,000 New York City public workers get student loan forgiveness.
And right now, thousands of city employees can get their debt wiped out, and they do not even know it.
Partnering with the company Summer, the city aims to cancel $360 million in debt. The full rollout is set